Alright, this is where we left off. We went in the mouth composition and we assigned 2 seconds to each of the mouth shapes until we reached the end, where we made the final mouth shape last longer than the rest. Alright, let's come back to character. Close that. We also added a text. Now what we have to do is to assign the time and the mouth shapes that we want at the same speed as someone saying, hello, how are you? So go to mouth, right click, time, enable time remapping. It's already on. Now go in effects and presets, look for slider control, add it onto mouth. You can also rename this if you want, talking. Hold down Alt or Option and click on this stopwatch until we see this code place. Right now it's time remap, but once we get the pick whip here and apply it to the slider guy, it's going to be effect talking slider. So the reason why we did this is that the slider is going to determine which mouth shape, and the time remap is going to determine when that mouth shape comes in. So together, we can make the characters say this sentence. All right, click away to close this code area. We don't want to add anything extra or else it will not work. Close this guy. And we're going to go in the beginning of our timeline and turn on the slider keyframe. Once we've done that, all we have to do is to hit U on the mouth layer until we see slider. And now she is already saying the HE sound. So we're going to move in a few frames and add 4 to the number. So this is the other one. This is the L sound. And I wanted to mention something about the slider control. It's not like regular transitions where from point A to point B. Point A is going to slowly transition into point B. With slider control, it's just, it suddenly appears. So as you can see, this is the first mouth. That's the second mouth. So it's not slowly shifting into that. That's why we do not need to change the keyframe. We do not want easy ease or any other thing. We just want the mouth to appear as they are, because she is changing the mouth shapes and we already determined the shapes in the mouth composition. So you don't need to hit F9 on this, just let it be as it is. So H, this was HE, this is the L sound, and now we need the O sound, so just type in 6. So this is what I was talking about. Because we added a space of 2 seconds, we can just simply add 2 to the number to get the next mouth. So this is hello, and then we want the regular mouth. She says nothing. And then we're going to go for 10. How are you? And then 16. She's just smiling. Now let's assign the time. Hello. So this comes in here. This is the regular mouth that comes in at 8 seconds. Let's make another keyframe over here. So she stays this way for some time. And then how are you? And then this just is a last smile. It just stays that way. It's N on this one. Just open the work area. So we made her talk at certain times. We need to work with the speed. So hello, how, and then pause, how are you? Hello, how are you? And then their normal face. It is a little slow when she's saying how are you, so let's speed that up by bringing in the keyframes. Let's have a look again. Hello, how are you? That's a lot better. So she's just saying hello, how are you? Make it as fast or as slow as you want. I'm going to keep it slow just so we get to see the different mouth shapes. but you could just alter around with the time and see how it works. Another helpful thing is to create like a sound, bring in a sound clip and just look at the sound wave. Then you can create markers by holding down Shift and pressing any number on your keyboards, like Shift 8. And then I will know, like, at this point she needs to say the edge sound. And if you hit 8, you're going to be redirected to this area. And then you can do maybe Shift 9 here. And then if I'm here, I can hit 9 and I'll be redirected there. I know that here she needs to say the O sound. Here she needs to say the R sound. So markers are great if you want to make them just perfect. I'm going to hit Control Z and get rid of those. But for this one, we don't really want it to be precise because we're just making her speak based off this sentence. And yeah, so we made her talk. Now, an additional element, which is completely optional, is to make her blink. I added another file here called character blink. So bring that on top of mouth, hit U, and then we're gonna hit S and just scale this up like so. Click away and get your pen tool. We want to get the eyes only, her closed eyes in this case. Get her closed eyes, and then we want to make another mask, still selecting that layer. Make another mask of her eye. Okay, now that it appears, we can fix things up. Get rid of the extra ones. Make sure you're not getting bits of the eyebrows, but you are covering up the eyes. Okay. There we are. We can also hit P on this character blink. Maybe move her up like that. Move it up too, and then still with the pen tool, you get to fix the areas. If you could still see the eyes from behind. Now remember, we can only do this because she's not moving. The character is still, so we get to use a photo like this on top and simply just make her blink in this position. All right, let's zoom out. Have a look at the size. I think the size is okay. Now all we have to do is to just, this is the full quality, go in a few frames, just a really tiny bit, because you don't blink for that long. Hold down Alt and then right bracket key. Duplicate this a bunch of times, like 4 or 5 times. The number of times you want her to blink, and we're just going to offset. Select it all. We want to offset the, let me open this up. Offset these each time holding Control on one of them and then getting the rest. Control to deselect, Control or Command, deselect. And I think one of them is extra, so I'm going to delete the other one. So now she's just going to talk and blink at the same time. So you can see she's just blinking like so as she is speaking, and that just makes things look more natural. She closes her eye, she's talking, she closes again, still talking. And yeah, she's just normal for the rest of the composition. All right, and if you want, you can add more mouth shapes and make her say other things. Another additional element is to go on the hello, how are you mouth text. Go to animate, character offset, then go to animator 1, add property opacity, turn this to 0. Go in the beginning of your timeline. We want to go to range selector, turn on the stopwatch for start at 0%. Right where she stops saying hello, like right here a second after that, we want to bring in the text as much as the comma. right before the rest appears. Also go in advanced and turn smoothness to 0, so it has a typewriter look. And then after that, where she is about to say the how are you, we can, right here, first make a keyframe for this part, and then we want to add how, are, then we have you, and then question mark. So hello, how are you? So let me play that again so we can have a look at the speed. The hello is fine, but how are you is a little too quick, so we can perhaps put some space here. Have a look. So right here where she's saying the R, oops, bring that in here. The A needs to appear, R, and then U needs to appear too. So you can just bring them in closer. Hello, how are you? And then she just stays that way for the rest of the composition. And alright, so this was a way to make your character speak using no plugins. As you saw, it was fairly simple, just added some few effects and use the properties that each of the layers have. And like we said, we will see how we can make our characters talk with a more efficient technique, which is to use a plugin. Because if you were to make her talk or maybe sing a 3-minute song, then it would really take some time to assign each of the mouth shapes to the song. We're going to learn about a really cool plugin in the following lesson, so stay tuned for that. We're done with this lesson. I hope to see you guys in the next one.